Hello, hello, beautiful. My name is Giselle, co-host of the Strong Sunflowers podcast and founder of G is for Growth. And today we're going to talk about what you need to hear this Mother's Day, especially if you're a first generation Latina, if you're the firstborn, if you come from generational trauma. This one's for you because I know a lot of us are healing. I want to start off this video by saying that no matter what, I love my mom, I love my family, and I know that they did the best with what they had. So I feel like I definitely have to set up the storyline before I start it. So as you guys know, I'm originally from Havana, Cuba. I was born in 1995. My mom was 19 at the time. And again, it's communist Cuba. You already don't have a lot. Now you're thrown to raise someone else that you have to feed, clothe, and take care of. And at 19, you already don't even know how to do that for yourself, especially when there's so much generational trauma that I have found through going through therapy in my family that my mom wasn't taught how to care for, love, nurture, all those things. So when she had to pass it over, she just did the best that she could. And no shame in that. You know, I appreciate everything that she's ever done for me. But at the end of the day, there's still trauma. And usually when we don't heal from our traumas, we pass it on. When I went to therapy, I always say, I'm like, damn, therapy's expensive. I ain't got no insurance, okay? Like, this family drama is costing me a bag, okay? But when I went to therapy, one of the things that my therapist told me was, think of someone just coming up to you and giving you a dog. And my first instinct was like, girl, I don't want no dog. I ain't got time for no dog. Like, I have so much stuff to do. I don't want a dog. And then she's like, well, think of it as you can't return it. Here's the dog and it's yours and you can't say no, it's your dog. Your first instinct was like, I don't want it. Your second instinct was like, who's gonna take care of this dog? How can I still do what I have to do and find someone else to take care of this dog? And sometimes you're gonna be frustrated with the dog. And sometimes you're going to want to like let the dog go. But at the end of the day, it's not the dog's fault, you know? The dog is just the dog, you know? It just was brought into this situation. And of course, in this story, I'm the dog. You know, at 19, my mom wasn't ready to be a mom. And she still chose to have me. And I'm so grateful for that. She still chose to put her life on pause for me, to take care of me, when she didn't even know what was going on with her life. When she didn't even know that if she wanted to bring a child into communist Cuba, because there's no opportunity to bring a child into. And my birthing story was really traumatic. And of course, going through therapy and everything, my therapist told me sometimes, especially when we're creating life, like our body keeps score, our body feels all that. We are energy. So maybe in some way, my mom didn't want me. And she has told me this before, which it was like a fucking dagger to the fucking heart. But the body keeps score. And you can feel that. And my birthing story is really traumatic. I pooped in my mom's stomach and it was shit everywhere. I inhalated my own shit. We both almost died. I was like, bitch, I'm taking both of us down. You don't want me? Well, I don't want you either. Okay? And yeah, it was traumatic and her mom wasn't there for her when that was going on. So again, that created more generational trauma because my grandmother's mother wasn't there for her growing up. So it's like this loop. So I definitely have to go to therapy. So if I can tell you guys to do anything, take your ass to therapy. There's so much things that we don't even know that's affecting us right now. And we can't heal and we can't stop the cycle if we don't know what we're stopping and what we're healing from. I feel like growing up, there was always this lack of communication. Because the way that my mom and I communicated was through joke, sarcasm. Even till this day, we're so sarcastic. Everything's a joke. Everybody's getting roasted. But I don't really remember having deeper conversations. And I'm a Scorpio, gang, OVO. And I love deep conversations. I remember growing up and asking my mom, two questions. And it's funny because on the Strong Sunflowers podcast, we just did a video on this. And it's like, it made me really sad because damn, is that all I know about my mom? I still remember to this day, I asked her, hey mom, what's your favorite color? And she said, red. I was like, hey mom, what is your favorite Disney movie? And she said, Pocahontas. And that has stayed with me for years. But how sad it is that I'm 27 and that is all that I know about my mom. I don't know much about my mom's childhood. I don't know much about my mom in her teen years. I don't know about my mom and my dad's relationship. I don't know any of that. So that's definitely something that I would love to change. But at the same time, when our parents don't want to heal from their traumas, it's hard for our healed version to put ourselves back into that situation where we don't feel like we're heard, seen, and understood. And growing up, there was also a lot of comparison to be like someone else's kid. It's like, oh, why can't you be like so-and-so's kid? Why can't you be more like this? Why? Like, I felt like everything of me, what made me was wrong. And I was a very vocal kid. And growing up, again, we lacked communication. And every time I spoke up, it was seen as disrespectful. So all those like insecurities when it comes to comparison, I just felt like I needed to be validated. To win my mom's love, I had to be doing the most. I needed to be the best. I needed to be who she wanted me to be. And if I deviated from that, then I was not worthy of her love. So, and I brought so much of that. Now I can see it. I can definitely see it in my relationships. I've only had one in a situationship / relationship. So I guess two, right? But I definitely, in the first one, I definitely brought the communication part. It was hard for me to communicate because growing up, it was seen as disrespectful. So I just decided to bottle up all and just be a yes person, a people pleaser. It definitely made me a people pleaser as an adult and made me want to fit in. Again, the comparison, it made me want to be validated. It made me search for my love and my worthiness and my value in other people, and especially in romantic relationships and men. Like, oh my gosh, that was definitely a game changer this year. Just knowing that I do not need anyone to give me my value and worth. I do not need to audition for anybody's love, validation, all of that. Like, I'm already worthy on my own, by myself, and I don't need anybody else to validate that for me. So it's just funny to see how those things have been connected from my childhood to now as an adult. So I just wanted to share with you guys a couple of things that I have learned throughout this journey. And again, I love my mom. I know that she did the best that she could while she could, but it is my turn right now. Again, when they say our parents' ceiling is our bottom, and I want my bottom to be my ceiling to be my kids' bottom. So I definitely have to be working on myself if I want to break these generational curses. I definitely feel like I am the black sheep of the family and I am put on this earth to do just that. And I'm going to be a badass mom. Like, I may have doubts and anything else in my life, but when it comes to being a fucking mother, I know that I'm going to be a fucking good one. Okay? And not saying that my mom is not a good mom. My mom is a good mom. And on the podcast, The Strong Sunflowers, we also talked about like, what things are you taking into motherhood that you learned from your mom? Like, my mom is a fucking tiger, a bear, a shark, whatever you want to call it when it comes to her kids. She definitely shows up and shows out if anybody was messing with us. Like, she will fight a 3-year-old. She would fight a 12-year-old. She'll fight anybody for her children. She'll go to jail. She crazy. Sometimes I'm like, I'm not even gonna tell her because I don't want her to fight this teacher, you know? But definitely Mama Bear comes out all the time. And one of the things that I really loved growing up is that she would take us everywhere. When we were in Cuba, like wherever my mom was welcomed, I was welcomed. So definitely. But if you are a first generation Latino or Latina or a first generation anything, or just someone going through trauma, generational trauma, especially when it comes to our mothers and our relationship with our mothers, this video is for you. And I wanted to share a couple of things that I have learned throughout the years. So number one for sure is to remind yourself that you're worthy. You don't have to auction yourself off to anybody. You don't have to tell every person you meet what you bring to the table, why they should keep you in their lives, why you are worthy of their time, why you are worthy of their value, what value you have. Scratch all of that off. You don't need to show anybody none of that. You just be you and just know that you are enough. You are freaking enough. More than enough, actually. Number two, that guilt. That guilt of being brought from a third world country, communist Cuba, giving this opportunity, at least for me, the opportunity to come to America, to live the American dream, which I believe that I'm living. I freaking love my life. And I am so thankful for my mom. I'm thankful for her sacrifice. I'm thankful for my dad's sacrifice to let me go and stay in Cuba and not have his only daughter around. I'm thankful for my grandfather that brought us here. And for leaving Cuba in the 60s after Fidel took over. I'm thankful for my family for supporting me and all of that. I am thankful for being able to be here on YouTube. I wouldn't be able to do this if I was still in communist Cuba. I'm leaving to Dubai. I'm in Dubai as you watch this video. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was still in Cuba. So I'm totally 100% grateful for that. But sometimes also the guilt. Sometimes our parents want to live their dreams through us. Sometimes our parents put this amount of pressure, because I am thankful to be here, but then the amount of pressure of being here, of being given this opportunity, sometimes can be overwhelming, especially if your parents keep putting that pressure on you. And especially if you're suffering from generational trauma, if you're not aligning with your parents, if your parents can't communicate, if your parents can't let you be an adult, let you make your own decisions, let you make your own mistakes, and still hold you with open arms at all times. That's so important. And there's a guilt that comes with that when we have to separate ourselves from our parents, in my instance from my mom, because we haven't been growing in the direction that is needed to grow in, or the direction that I want to grow in, and us not aligning in that and having to step back. I want to talk about the guilt that we feel that we have to parent our parents. We are not responsible for their emotions. We are not responsible for what they think of us. We are not responsible for their trauma. Remember, you're the dog. You're not responsible for any of it. It is not your responsibility to parent your parents. It is not your responsibility to take care of everyone. I just saw this video and it talked about the trauma that it causes when you, as a young child, your parents make you take care of your younger sibling. That is your childhood that they robbed you of. And I know sometimes we need help and all that, but we have to remember, especially coming from Hispanic households, our children are not second parents to our kids. That is not our responsibility. I'm a big sister. I can do that. I can be that. But a second parent, that is not my responsibility. And we have been put so much responsibility on our shoulders that we didn't get to enjoy our childhood. And then again, trauma, generational trauma after generational trauma just being passed down. Don't feel guilty for not having to. You don't have to take care of everybody. It's not your job. It is not your job. You know what you're responsible for? You are responsible for you. You're responsible for healing, so you don't pass this trauma to your kids. You are responsible for who you bring into your field, into your life. You are responsible to set boundaries and say no. Get real comfortable with those boundaries and saying no, and being comfortable of who has to go shall go. You are now responsible for advocating for yourself, which we talk all about at the Strong Sunflowers. But you are responsible for that. No one was seeing you. No one was hearing you. No one was listening. Now it's your time. Now it's your time to know who the fuck you are, literally. And excuse my French. But I'm so passionate about this. You have to know who you are and stand on it. stand on it. And this comes the hard part, because to all my people that are healing out there, especially when it comes to our family, sometimes we just feel alone. We feel alone as hell. It's a fucking lonely ass process. It's a lonely ass process that I can't fucking call my mom and be like, hey, I had a fucking bad day today. And again I come from communist Cuba. And most of my family is still over there struggling. My dad is still over there struggling. I haven't seen my dad in 3 years. I grew up without my dad, and I had amazing father figures, but I still needed my dad. Sometimes through this journey of healing, like, we don't talk about how hard healing is. And I'm the happiest I've ever been. Don't get me wrong. But these are still triggers. These are still generational traumas that I have to continue to heal and continue to parent myself through and tell myself, hey, it's okay. It's okay. I love you. I see you. You're valuable. You're worthy. And I'm in the United States. And sometimes I feel so fucking alone. I feel like I have no family. And if you have listened to any of my other videos, I know I got married at 19, and my ex-husband family, oh my gosh, bless them. I freaking loved them. I loved them because they were the family that I've always wanted. And try not to have that comparison, right, from growing up, but they were the family I've always wanted. They spent every Christmas together. We would wake up and open presents and have breakfast. We spent Thanksgiving together. We would have Sunday dinners. Those are things that I always wanted but never had growing up. My mom's a single mom. She was always working. I had to spend all the holidays with someone else's family. And then on top of that, just because I got divorced, right? I felt like that was taken from me, because it wasn't just my husband, it was also the family, what I believed, what I wanted. I've been craving for home for so long. And that was fucking hard. And just feeling, I even wrote a poem on this that I would love to share with you guys, but because it really hit me. Like, damn. Sometimes I feel like I have no family, but I have to remind myself that I have me, and I create my family, and I create my field. So healing is so hard, but it's so worth it. And I just wanted to share these poems with you guys through my healing journey. And I wrote this poem that it's called Mine, and I wrote it last year during Christmas because I was feeling really alone, and it was like the second or third Christmas that I was gonna spend by myself, because I would usually spend it with my ex-husband's family. So this poem is called Mine. Overwhelming sense of emotion. Hold it in. Let it go. 1, 2, 3. Breathe. Wanting to belong. Thought I had the family of my dreams, but it was taken from me because it was never mine. I vowed to plant the seeds in my own garden with my own hands and give birth to a new dream, a dream that will be forever mine. And when I wrote this, I was thinking of the future. We are healing for ourselves, yes, but we're also healing for our future kids, for our future family, that we're going to plant with our own hands, that are going to be ours. It's going to be our family, that we're going to create traditions and love in a home that we always wanted to be a part of. So always reminding myself that even though I didn't get these things as a child, I can offer these things to my child. And then one of the ones that I wrote just recently, a couple of months ago, because I still haven't talked to my mom about everything that I need to talk to her about, because it just never goes good. So I've just been avoiding it like the plague, but I know making this video, I know that it's something that I have to talk to about. I have to communicate that. I have to use my communications skills and everything that I've learned thus far to be able to apply it, because in this journey, I don't just want to heal myself. I would also want to help my mom heal. And if she's ready for it, I'm here for her. And if she's not, I'm still here for her. I still love her, and I'm still going to be a part of her life. It's just not going to be in the way that we both wish it would be. And this is the poem that I wrote, and it's called To My Future Children. I hope my future children know I love them even before they were born, that I healed not only for myself but for them. I hope they feel seen, heard, and understood. I hope they know their opinions matter. They're small but mighty. I hope I encourage them to always strive for more, to be authentically themselves, without judgment, to think of me as a safe space for growth, to think of me as home. I hope they get to experience my highest self, a person that overflows into them in abundance. I pray my cup is always more than full. I pray I save space for them, for their goals, for their dreams. I wish for them everything I ever wanted. Thank you so much for joining me in this YouTube video. Thank you so much for reaching till the end. Thank you so much for being in this vulnerable space with me. I just want you to know that whatever you guys are going through, whatever relationship it is, know that you're loved, that you're valuable. Know that you are worthy of love. Know that healing is gonna take time, and it's gonna hurt. It's like when they break your bones to get it realigned again. But it's totally 100% worth it. I just want to finish it off because I know there's a lot going on, but since I'll be in Dubai when this airs, I just want my mom, if you're listening to this, want her to know that I love her, that I care for you, that I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for you. Don't ever think that the things that I have gone through means that I love you any less. I love you. You are my mother. You'll forever be my mother. I want us to get more comfortable talking about the things that cause us pain so we can fix them, so we can heal from them, so we can make the next generation better. And if you're hurting out there, know that you're not alone. Know that happiness is within you, and know that there's going to be a brighter future tomorrow. I love you guys, and I hope you had an amazing Mother's Day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Ciao.